So hello everyone and welcome back once again to the today's session of design of roof truss. So in the last session we had a discussion over, or we have started with the design of principal rafter. And we have finished with the first step, that is the selection of member and connection details. So we have selected two angles back to back, that is 2 ISA 80 by 80 by 8 and with 10 mm gusset plate. Two angles back to back with 10 mm gusset plate. So this is the cross section what you can see, and here we have the elevation or the longitudinal section, correct? And we are regarding the design of connection we have assumed M24 bolts of property class 4.6. We have assumed M24 bolts of property class 4.6, and with respect to that we got 5 number of bolts for making the connection. We got 5 number of bolts for making the connection. Okay, so here we have the 5 number of connection. Now after the first step we have to check the provided member whether it will be safe to carry the tensile force as well as compressive force. Okay, so here, so first is design as tension member. Okay, because the maximum force is tension, so we have to design as tension member. So first of all, design as tension member. Design as tension member. Okay, so in that you have to refer for that the clause number again, clause number 6.2, 6.3 as well as clause number 6.4. You have to refer clause number 6.2, 6.3, 6.4 of IS 800 2007, correct? You have to refer these clause numbers for design as tension. Okay, so first of all, that is the first step is design strain due to yielding of cross section. Design strength due to yielding of gross section. Design strain due to yielding of gross section. That is as per clause number 6.2, page number 32. As per clause number 6.2, page number 32, which is given by TDG is equal to AG into Fy upon gamma m naught. TDG is equal to AG into Fy upon gamma m naught. Okay, so TDG, so AG is here, the area provided. We have provided 2442 into Fy is 250 divided by the gamma m naught is 1.1. So which is, we get the strength, the design strain due to yielding. Okay, when the member loaded as a tension member, so when you increase the load, it will fails due to yielding. It may fails due to yielding. So how much it can take before failure? It can take a load of 555 kilonewton. So our section what you have provided, 2 ISA back to back with 10 mm gusset plate, it can take the force in yielding, it can take 555 kilonewton, which is more than 472.2 kilonewton. Therefore, okay, so our section is safe to carry or to resist the yielding of, that is up to 472.2 kilonewton. Then next we have the second one is strain due to rupture. Strength due to rupture of critical section. Strain due to rupture of critical section. Okay, which is given, which is mentioned in the code, which is clause number 6.3.3, page number 33. Okay. So I'll show you. So when you open 6.3.3 single angle. Okay. So it is for single angle. When you use the angle section, you have to refer this for single angle 6.3.3. Okay, page number 33. So you have to note down this equation. Okay. So now we'll note down the equation, which is given by TDN is equal to 0.9 ANC into FU divided by gamma ml plus beta AGO into Fy divided by gamma m naught. Okay, divided by gamma m naught, where beta is given by beta is equal to 1.4 minus 0.076 W by T into Fy by Fu into Bs by Lc should be less than or equal to Fu into gamma m naught divided by Fy into gamma ml. Okay, Fu divided by gamma m naught, Fu into gamma naught divided by Fy into gamma ml, which is more than or equal to 0.7. So by this we have to find out beta. So we will calculate one by one. Okay, we will calculate one by one. So here the beta is, so first of all you have to find out what is ANC and what is AGO. So here ANC is nothing but the connected area of, or the area, net area of connected leg, and AGO is gross area of outstanding leg. So ANC, where ANC is equal to the net area ANC. So A area of, or net area for connected leg. So connected leg is 80 minus 26 minus 8 by 2 into 8 to AGO, that is again here AGO is outstanding leg. So outstanding is 80 minus 80 by 8 by 2 into 8. So like this you have to find out. Okay. So I will show you. So what you can see here, we have this leg is 80 as well as this leg is 80. So the outstanding leg, this is 80. 80 minus half of the overlapped leg, 80 minus 8 by 2 into thickness. The net area of the connected leg. Connected leg is 80 minus 8 by 2 minus the bolt hole what you provide in the angle. So that is bolt hole minus 26. So if you want I can show it here. Yes. So here 80 minus 26. So 26, that is for bolt hole, minus 8 by 2 into 8. Outstanding leg 80 minus 8 by 2 into 8. So this is regarding the calculation of net area and gross area. Understood? So next is, here we required what is LC. LC is nothing but the length of connection. LC is nothing but length of connection. So from here to here, so this is the length of connection. Okay. So the distance, okay, the pitch distance and the edge distance. So pitch distance we have assumed as 60 mm. So that is, this is 60, 60, 60, 60. Okay, and the edge distance is from here to here. The edge distance is 45, 60, 60, 60, 60. Understood? So the length of connection is, this is nothing but the length of connection from here to here. So LC will be 4 times 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. LC will be 4 times 60. Okay. So here it is 4 times 60. So we will get this as 240 mm. Another, we got ANC is equal to 400 mm square, and the AGO is 608 mm square. Correct? Then we have to find out what is beta. So for that beta, again we require what is that is BS. One more we required BS. So what is BS here now? So BS is nothing but, again, as per the code, the value of BS is nothing but, as per the code, that's what you can check here. So this is, the BS is W plus WI minus T if it is bolted connection, and it is BS is equal to W. So W is nothing but the outstanding leg plus to the center of bolt. Outstanding leg W plus WI. WI is from the angle to the center of bolt. Okay, so that is WI minus T. Okay, this way we have to find out the BS. So when you calculate BS, so W is the outstanding leg. So you can see the outstanding leg is 80 plus WI. So from here to here, so it is 22.7 minus T. T is 8. So the BS is equal to W plus WI minus T. So BS is equal to, we got the value of BS is equal to, we get 80 plus 22.7 minus 8. Okay. So we got the value of BS 94.7. Okay. So by utilizing all those values, you have to find out first of all the beta. So we get the value of beta is equal to 1.21. Then with respect to that, by again substituting the value in the formula of TDN, we get the value of TDN is equal to, the TDN will be 570.56 kilonewton. You have to substitute back here and you have to find out. So we get 570.56 kilonewton, which is again more than 472.2 kilonewton. So we got, again, it is safe. So therefore it is okay. For rupture, again it is okay. Then you have to move on to block. So for block shear strength, you have to refer this. What you can see, design strain due to block shear bolted connection. So TDB1, TDB2. So we have to find out by using this formula, which is given by AVG into Fy divided by root 3 into gamma m naught plus 0.9 ATN Fu divided by gamma ml. So here again AVN and ATG. So we have to find out what is AVG, ATN, AVN, ATG, AVG, ATN, AVN, ATG. Okay. So this we have to find out first for the calculation of block shear strength. Now I will show you how to calculate AVG, AVN and ATG, ATN. Okay. So I will tell you how the block shear failure will take place in this type of connection. Okay. When the member is subjected to a tensile force, okay, generally what will happen, because of making of holes into the angles may rupture or they may fracture into the critical section. So what will happen, that critical section will travel like this. It will travel from hole to hole because it is the high stress area here, because we have made a hole into the connection or in the section. So the force will travel and again it will travel like this, and this part whatever this part will cut like this. So if you want to, I'll show you like this. So if the section is like this, so we have the bolts here, okay, and we have the angle thickness. So because of the force, what will happen, it may fracture and it will travel like this, the fracture, the crack will travel like this, and again it will travel towards here. And because of this, what will happen, the whatever the section, this part will fail as a segment, or it will fail as a block. This part, it will fail as a block, and this will get separated like this. So it will be like this. So we get like this. So these are the bolt, okay. And the one more part, this part will get separated, okay. So this is called as block, okay. So this is a segment or the separation of the section from one to another because of the travel of crack or the fracture into the section. So that's why it is called as block shear failure. So the AVG and AVN, so the AVG we have to find out with respect to this length, that is AVG and AVN, and ATG, ATN we have to find out with respect to this ATG and ATN with respect to this, okay. So we will find out that. So here, so therefore AVG will be 45 plus 4 into 60, okay, this distance is 45, so 4 into 60, 45 plus 4 into 60, that is the gross, into 8, and AVN is again 45 plus 4 into 60, we will get it as 285 minus the 4 number of bolts are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4 and half, 4.5. So 4.5 into 26 into 8, then ATG, so this is again 57.3. So this we get it as 57.3 from steel table. So this we get it as 57.3. That is the CXXCYY 57.3. So that is we get ATG as 57.3 into 8, and it is ATN will be 57.3 minus half of diameter will deduct here. So that is half of 26 into 8. So we get like this, okay. So that's why it is AVG is, we get 2280 mm square, AVN 1344 mm square, ATG 458.4 mm square, and ATN will be 354.4 mm square. So by substituting this in the formula, we get TDB1. Will be 403.79. Then you have to multiply into 2. Why into 2? Because we are using two angles. You have to multiply into 2. So for what? 2 ISA. We have to multiply into 2. For TDB1, you have to multiply into 2 for 2 ISA. So we get this as 807.58 kilonewton. 807.58 kilonewton. Then TDB2 we get it as 333.34 again into 2 for 2 ISA we get it as 666.48 kilonewton. So you have to choose list of these two. So therefore TDB is equal to, so I can write here, therefore TDB is equal to list of these two, it will be 666.48 kilonewton, which is again more than the design tensile force of 472.2 kilonewton. Therefore okay or safe. So the selected section is safe to carry the design tensile force in terms of yielding, rupture or block shear. Now we have to check the same member for to carry compression. Means whatever the member is provided, that should have that should be safe to carry tension as well as compression. Now tension it is safe. Now we have to check for compression. Okay. So now we need to check if these two ISA 80 by 80 by 8, these two ISA 80 by 80 by 8 can carry compressive force of 261 kilonewton. Now we have selected section, okay, and we checked for whether the selected section is safe to carry tension. Now we got it is safe. Now next we have to check the same section whether it is safe to carry the compressive force of 261 kilonewton. The compressive force of 261 kilonewton. So therefore, the design compressive strength PD is given by AE into FCD. As per, so I can write as per clause number 7.1.2, page number 34, the design compressive strength A into FCD. Okay. So where we have to find out the FCD first of all. Okay, where FCD is equal to design compressive stress. Design compressive stress we have to find out. As per the again IS 800 charts, tables, sorry, IS 800 tables you have to find out. So for that, first of all we should have what is slenderness ratio. Lambda is equal to KL by R minimum. Lambda is equal to KL by R minimum, where KL is nothing but the effective length factor. The effective length L is, or LE is equal to K into L, which is K is nothing but 0.85 into L 1790, okay, or 1.79. So we get this as 1.52 meter or 1520 mm. We get like this. So therefore, now what is R? Where R is nothing but R minimum is nothing but the list of the value of RXX and RYY. The value of RXX and RYY. I'll show you how to refer that. Okay. So for that you have to refer steel table. Okay. So here if you check, when you open again the same table, you will get here a radius of gyration. So for 80 by 80 by 8, so when you come here you will get the radius of gyration for 80 by 80 by 8, it is RXX, that is 24.4. RXX is 24.4. when you check here we get for 80 by 80 by 8 here 24.4, and so on. When you refer here we get like this. Here the radius of gyration about y axis for the 10 mm gap, okay, 10 mm gusset plate. So we get here again it is 36.9. So we get it is 36.9. Now we have to note down that RXX, RYY. Okay, so we'll note down that. So we get RXX is equal to 24.4 mm and RYY is equal to 36.9 mm. Okay, so we get R minimum is equal to list of these two, so that is 24.4 mm. So therefore lambda will be, therefore the slenderness ratio lambda will be KL by R minimum. So it is 1520 divided R minimum is 24.4. So we get the ratio, that is lambda 62.35 mm. 62.35 mm. Okay, now we have to find out the value of FCD. The value of FCD, this is very important. We have to find out the value of FCD by referring tables, which is mentioned in the IS 800. Okay, so when you open, okay, so we'll get the table like this. The design compressive stress FCD for column buckling class A. Now our section is angle, so angle will comes under always buckling class C. Okay, so we have to refer for buckling class C. So when you turn the page, okay, like this, when you turn the page, you will get the one more table, that is table number 9C for the buckling class C, for buckling class C. Okay, so here, so same way you have to find out, this is the table given for lambda, and these are the yield stress. So we have to refer for yield stress 250, yield stress 250. So we have to interpolate between 60 and 70. We have to interpolate between 60 and 70. So that is 168 and 152. You have to interpolate between 168 and 152. Okay, so I'll show you that. Okay, so here now as per buckling class C, as per buckling class C, page number 42, table number 9C, we get the lambda. For lambda 60 and 70 we get FCD. So for 250, Fy is equal to 250, we get 168 and 152. Okay, so we have to interpolate between these two for the value of 62.35. So we have to interpolate for this and we have to find out the actual value. So we get the value for that, it is 164.24. After interpolation we get 164.24 Newton per mm square. Okay, so therefore PD will be AE into FCD. As I told you, PD is equal to AE into FCD. Okay, so we have to find out. So AE we already got, so it is 2442. FCD is 164.24. So we get PD, the design compressive strength is 401.07 kilonewton. So we got the compressive force that can carry by the angle 401.07, and which is more than 261 kilonewton, hence safe. Okay, so now it is the end of design of principal rafter. End of design of principal rafter. So as I told you, we have to find out the maximum force, that is whether it is tension or compression. Now in this case we got the maximum force was tension. So we selected the area with respect to the design of tension criteria as per the code. After that we selected section, we designed the connection, then we checked for tension with respect to yielding, rupture and block shear. We got safe. Then again the same member what we provided, we have to check for whether it is safe to carry compression. Then we got to know that again the member what you have selected is safe to carry the design compressive force of 261 kilonewton. So this is regarding the design of principal rafter. So same way we have to carry out the design of other elements. Okay, so that will continue in the next session. Okay, thank you very much.